Many people who struggle with mobility limitations wonder whether their doctor can issue a disabled parking permit. The short answer is that doctors do play a key role in the process, but in most cases, they do not actually issue the permit themselves. Instead, a licensed medical professional provides medical certification confirming that a person has a qualifying condition. The permit itself is typically issued by a state government agency, usually the Department of Motor Vehicles or a similar transportation authority. Understanding how this process works can help individuals obtain the accessible parking support they need while ensuring that permits are issued fairly and appropriately. A disabled parking permit allows individuals with qualifying mobility impairments to park in designated accessible parking spaces. These spaces are located closer to building entrances and often provide extra room for safely entering and exiting vehicles. For people who have difficulty walking long distances, accessible parking can make everyday activities such as shopping, attending medical appointments, and visiting public places much easier. Because accessible parking spaces are limited resources, most states require verification from a licensed healthcare professional before issuing a permit. This step helps ensure that the permits are provided to individuals who genuinely need them due to medical conditions that affect mobility. When someone believes they may qualify for a disabled parking permit, the first step is typically speaking with a healthcare provider. This may include a physician, nurse practitioner, physician assistant, or other licensed medical professional authorized under state regulations. During the evaluation, the healthcare provider will review the patient's medical condition and determine whether it significantly limits their ability to walk or move safely over certain distances. Common qualifying conditions often include severe arthritis, neurological disorders affecting mobility, heart or lung conditions that limit physical activity, and conditions that require the use of mobility aids such as crutches, walkers, braces, or wheelchairs. Other conditions may also qualify if they significantly restrict mobility or make walking painful or unsafe. If the healthcare provider determines that the patient meets the eligibility requirements, they will complete a portion of the disability parking permit application. This section typically includes medical certification, confirming the diagnosis, and explaining how the condition affects the patient's mobility. Once the healthcare provider signs the certification, the application can be submitted to the appropriate state agency responsible for issuing disability parking permits. Although doctors provide the medical verification, they usually do not issue the permit themselves. The final decision and distribution of the permit are handled by the state agency after reviewing the application. In most states, the permit application can be submitted in several ways. Some individuals choose to visit a local motor vehicle office in person to submit the paperwork. Others may prefer to mail the completed application and medical certification to the appropriate agency. Many states now offer online application options as well. Online systems allow applicants to submit personal information and upload medical documentation electronically. This option can be especially helpful for individuals who have difficulty traveling or waiting in line at government offices. Once the application is submitted, the state agency reviews the information to confirm that the eligibility requirements have been met. If everything is complete and the medical certification is valid, the permit is typically approved and issued. The permit may be mailed to the applicant's home or provided during an in-person visit depending on how the application was submitted. There are generally two types of disability parking permits available: temporary and permanent. Temporary permits are issued for conditions expected to improve over time, such as recovery from surgery or injury. These permits usually have expiration dates that correspond with the expected recovery period. Permanent permits are issued for long-term or lifelong conditions that significantly limit mobility. Individuals with chronic medical conditions that affect walking ability may qualify for permanent permits. If their healthcare provider confirms that the condition is ongoing, even permanent permits may require periodic renewal depending on state regulations. Renewals help ensure that the permit holder's information remains accurate and that eligibility requirements continue to be met. Once a disability parking permit is issued, it must be displayed clearly whenever the vehicle is parked in a designated accessible parking space. Display instructions vary slightly by state, but the permit must always be visible from outside the vehicle so that parking enforcement officers can confirm that the space is being used legally. It is also important to remember that disability parking permits are issued to individuals rather than vehicles. This means the permit can be used in any vehicle as long as the person to whom it was issued is present. For example, if the permit holder is riding with a family member or friend who is driving, the permit can still be used to park in an accessible space. However, the permit should never be used when the eligible individual is not present. Misuse of a disability parking permit can lead to fines, penalties, or revocation of parking privileges. Doctors and healthcare providers play an important role in protecting the integrity of accessible parking programs. By evaluating patients carefully and providing medical certification only when appropriate, healthcare providers help ensure that permits are issued to individuals who truly need them. This helps preserve accessible parking spaces for those with genuine mobility challenges. For individuals experiencing difficulty walking or managing long distances due to a medical condition, speaking with a healthcare provider about a disability parking permit can be an important step. Medical professionals can evaluate whether the condition meets the eligibility criteria and guide patients through the application process. Accessible parking permits are an important accessibility tool that helps individuals maintain independence and mobility. By allowing closer parking and providing additional space for safe movement, these permits make it easier for people with mobility impairments to navigate public spaces. While doctors do not typically issue the permits directly, their medical certification is a crucial part of the process that allows individuals to obtain the support they need. With proper evaluation and completed documentation, individuals who qualify can apply through their state agency and receive a permit that helps make everyday travel safer, easier, and more accessible. We truly hope this video made things clearer for you. Navigating the disabled parking process can feel overwhelming, but you don't have to figure it out alone. If you need a handicapped placard or plate and want a simpler, more convenient option, visit handicappedparking.com. We connect you with licensed doctors online so you can complete everything from home without the stress or guesswork. Our mission is to make the process easier and help you gain the independence and mobility you deserve. If you're unsure about your eligibility or running into obstacles, reach out to us. We're here to help guide you every step of the way. Make sure to subscribe for more helpful information about handicap parking permits and drop your questions in the comments below. We're always glad to support our community. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.